Hi boys and girls. Today's story is called Pete the Cat Scuba-Cat. So we're going to continue learning about some ocean animals. Looking at the story, can you tell if it's a fiction story or a non-fiction story? Yeah, Pete the Cat is definitely fiction, fantasy, but in stories like this, it does give some real information. So even though the pictures are cartoon pictures, it talks about real life under the sea animals. So let's get started. The author of the story is James Dean. It's a story that you can maybe read yourself. Some words might be a little hard. Pete the Cat is excited. He is going scuba diving. Do you know what scuba diving is? This page might give you a little hint. Yeah, it is when you can go all the way below the water. You would need an air tank so that you can breathe, some goggles, some flippers, and sometimes people even wear a special wetsuit if they're going really, really low in the ocean to keep warm. Why do you think they need to keep really warm if they were really far down deep into the ocean? Yeah, if you said going further away from the sun will make you colder and it gets even darker down there. I have never been scuba diving. I've gone snorkeling a lot, but I've never been scuba diving. Pete puts on a mask and fins. He has a tank full of air. He hopes to see lots of fish. Do you think he'll see anything else besides fish? What do you think he'll see? Make some predictions. If you are lucky, you might see a seahorse, says Captain Joe. A seahorse, says Pete? I can't wait. I never saw one before. Have you ever seen a seahorse? I've never seen one in the ocean, but I have at the aquarium. Their ridges look like a horse's mane, says Captain Joe. Groovy, says Pete. Pete jumps into the water. Splash! Down, down, down he goes. Up, up, up go the bubbles. Pete looks for a seahorse. Does he see one? Where's the seahorse? Silly Pete, he didn't turn around. He sees a swordfish. Pete swims out of its way. Pete waves to a stingray. It has a long, skinny tail. That's not a seahorse, thinks Pete. I did swim with stingrays once. They're really soft on top and the stingers on the bottom. They like to hang low on the ocean floor. Pete looks high and low for the seahorse. He feels a little tickle. He still doesn't see him. Pete sees a school of fish. They look alike, except for one. So that's what they call a group of fish, a school. It puffs up. It is a blowfish. It is not a seahorse. Where could one be? Pete looks in the rocks. Ooh, what is that? It's an octopus. It has 8 legs. It is not a seahorse. Where's the seahorse? Silly Pete. Pete feels a tickle. What could it be? Pete turns. He sees a cave. Is there a seahorse inside? Pete sees a crab with claws. A seahorse does not have claws. Pete thinks. The cave is getting darker. Pete feels a tickle. And if you were really scuba diving, you could have a light with you so you can see in dark places. And maybe even a special camera that goes underwater so you can video things that you see or take pictures. Then he sees an eel swim Pete swims past it. It is too long to be a seahorse. Oh no, it is too dark to see. How will Pete get out? Pete sees a jellyfish. It glows in the dark. Pete is almost out of the cave. He sees an angelfish. It is very colorful. Pete is out of the cave. So why is it so dark? Pete is in a shadow. Who do you see? He is in the shadow of a whale. Yikes! Pete wishes he could jump on a seahorse and ride away. Pete hops on a sea turtle instead. It takes him to the boat. So a sea turtle isn't like a land turtle. A sea turtle kind of has flippers, not feet, and his head cannot go inside of his shell. They lay their eggs on the sand on the beach, and then when the eggs hatch, they just use their instinct and they follow the way to the ocean, and they swim right away. I did not see a seahorse, thanks Pete. He feels a tickle on his tail. A seahorse, cries Pete. What a surprise. You were with me all along, says Pete. What a cool adventure. So I'll leave that there for a second so you can name all of these sea animals. Okay, so if you wanted, you could write a little journal entry. It doesn't have to be about sea animals, but I would just love to know what your favorite thing to do at the beach is. Since it's getting a little warmer out and you're going to be able to go on the beach, I want to know what you like to do. I like to sit and read. My kids are getting a little older now, so I don't have to play with them as much. I do like to dig holes with Jax. He likes to dig big holes, but I like to go in the ocean too. I like to swim in the ocean. I like to walk along the shore. We go to Wildwood a lot, so we like to walk on the boardwalk and go on rides and eat funnel cake and eat pizza and ice cream and all that good stuff. So I would love if you wrote a couple sentences of what some fun things are that you like to do at the beach. All right, I'll see you boys and girls.